So, Michael Carrick has been at Manchester United since 2006. He's had 3 games in interim charge. He hasn't lost any of them. He beat Arsenal tonight and then announced he is leaving Manchester United. Here are his very own thoughts.
Yes, thank you very much, Michael. Yes, after 15 years as player and an interim manager, you've decided to say goodbye. Just explain the decision.
Yeah, it's not been an easy one to make, to be honest. But I feel it's the right one. I'm content with my decision. I feel quite happy. I was meant to take some time off after I finished playing, and I promised the family that we'd have some time together, and it's never happened. And I think I've thrown myself into working here for so long that it just feels like it's the right time to step away. I mean, it's, you know, I'll be back around the place. I'm not disappearing, but yeah, it's just the right time. And what a way to finish! It's a perfect night, really.
When did you make the decision? And it's your decision, correct? Not the club's decision?
Nah, 100% my decision, yeah. 100% my decision. Just, yeah, over the last week, really, a little bit. It was creeping in, and I was conscious, and I respected the club, and I respected the new manager coming in, that I wanted to make the decision before I had any contact with him or spoke to him. There was no crossover whatsoever. And, I thought it was the right thing to do for the club as much as for Ralph, and yeah, once I made the decision, that was final, and I was quite happy with that too.
I mean, some people had said that Michael Carrick should have left with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Was that in your mind as well? Was that a factor in this decision?
No, well, listen, it's easy to say that, and yeah, there was a big part of me is to do that, but at the same point, we were in a situation where there was a responsibility for me to see these 3 games through.
But was it a factor in your decision now, that loyalty, if you like, with Ole?
A little bit, yeah, of course it was, because I owe Ole an awful lot. Gabriel, there's a lot of things that kind of come into my decision. You know, it wasn't an easy one, and I just said to the players and the staff there, of the way we've worked together, and we've, you know, good people in there. Sometimes you get what you deserve, sometimes you don't. You know, I've worked so hard to try and bring some success here in recent years, and you know, it's hard to take when you don't quite get to them heights. But great times, great memories. Proud of the players over the last 3 games, and tonight give everything. And you know, in some ways it was the perfect night. But it's not about me; it's about the players in the club. Did
the players know before, or have you just told them?
No, I just told them about 5 minutes ago.
How did it go down?
Probably a bit shocked, yeah, a bit surprised, a little bit emotional in the changing room, to be honest. But I kind of expected that. I held it together just about. But yeah, it's not been easy to keep it away from people, I must admit, over the last few days. But I had a job to do, you know, and I was desperate to win the game for the club and for the fans and for the players. So I'm not the important one here.
No, but that must have meant, with that on your mind then, that must have meant an awful lot to you on the touchline this evening, watching your team one last time.
In some ways, yeah, but I kind of clicked into the zone of doing a job, focusing on the game, focusing on what type of changes do we need to make, how can we tweak it, who's coming on, and it probably wasn't.
What a crazy goal that Arsenal scored.
Yeah. At least I don't have to talk too much about that one now. We could have been here all night, but yeah, it wasn't probably until the board went up for 5 minutes, then it kind of hit me a little bit on the touchline then. But I was just desperate for us to win the game, really, because it was a big night for us.
And they did. And you haven't hidden behind the fact that you said you felt he should have gone at the time. But he's basically saying that's a big factor here, loyalty to Wally, but the club asked him to do these 3 games.
Yeah, I think that will be a big factor. And I can understand him wanting to do that. Whether it's the right thing or not is irrelevant. I think the timing of it is perfect now. I think with Rangnick coming in, there's talk of him bringing 1 or 2 people in with him. Does he really? Did not have much success either, so no, that takes it out of you. You think as a player, he's winning all the time. You go into your coaching career, I think he won. Did he win the Europa League with Jose? I'm not sure, but other than that, it's been really... It's been not disappointing. I'm sure he's enjoyed it. I'm sure it's a great experience, but they haven't really won anything. They did not even look like anything other than the Europa League final last year, which is not where he expects to be. It's not where Manchester United expect to be. And they probably fell below his standards, and he thinks now is the right time to do it, and I totally agree with him.
I think it's big man business for him in respects of doing it before the manager comes in, before he speaks to the manager. You know, he's mentioned there about the family, and I think that people really don't realise how much emphasis and how much how much pressure it is on you and the family. So I think that he's made the right decision for himself, and I think he leaves with his head held high, and you know what I mean, with a little bit of like pride about what he's done. And you know, I think that once he's had his rest, he'll be looking forward to getting back involved in it. I really like the way he's gone out.
Yeah, exactly, Sam. I think he looks like he does need a bit of rest. But I'll tell you what, he's done well. 3 games, unbeaten.
Yeah.
2 big wins, Villarreal beating Arsenal.
Knowing that he's got that decision to make as well. He's made that decision already, we know. He's made that decision before. And, you know, to go through it, like he said, he just slipped into manager mode and just got it done. Brilliant.
It's you first about the announcement that Michael Carrick is leaving Manchester United. What's your reaction as captain?
Yeah, obviously, he just spoke to us in the dressing room. An emotional dressing room, really, because he's been a big part of this club for a numerous amount of years now, and as a player, but also as a coach. He's obviously had no time off since his retirement, so he said he wanted to spend a bit of time with his kids. But listen, he's been a great player for this club, a legend of the club, and won everything at the club, and he's been a fantastic servant in terms of his coaching, and he's a really likeable man in terms of the lads all respect him, and he's been amazing with each and every one of us. So we're going to miss him. Of course, we're going to miss him, and we wish him well for the future.
When did you first hear about it? Just now in the dressing room?
Yeah, big shock to us. Obviously, he came in and we spoke about the game, and then he said at the end of it he doesn't want it to be about himself, but he's leaving and he's stepping down. So yeah, first time I noted obviously was 10 minutes ago. You probably found out before me, but yeah, it's I think the United fans, you've seen them singing at the end, they're singing his name, and he deserves that. He's going to be welcome at this club whenever he wants, and I'm sure the fans will always chant his name.
I was going to ask you if he was an option for permanent manager, considering the way the last 3 matches have gone as well. He's done a brilliant job. Let's talk about the result tonight. That's a really, really important win for your team, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. I think a lot better performance than the last 2 games have been. Villarreal was a tough game. We knew how important the result was. We didn't play really well with the ball, and again on Sunday against Chelsea we wasn't good enough with the ball, but we got a good result and we toughed it out. Tonight I felt like we deserved the victory. We played a lot more on the front foot with a higher tempo. The fans got right behind us. It was a great night at Old Trafford.
I'm not sure what's left to say about Cristiano Ronaldo really, but every now and then he produces a stat that reminds us just how important a football player he is. 800 career goals for him tonight. Is there anything left to say really?
Yeah, you can't. Words can't put into perspective in terms of what he's done in his football career. An amazing player, an amazing man to have around the dressing room, and he's come up with 2 big goals for us again on an important night. So no, I'm sure we'll get many more from now to the end of the season.
And I'm really sorry this interview is longer than normal considering there's so many talking points, but your new interim manager Ralph Rangnick in the stands tonight. How much are you looking forward to getting going playing under him, and what sort of impression do you think your team has made in front of the new boss tonight? Yeah, of course, we're really looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm sure he'll come in with fresh ideas, and we're looking forward to tomorrow morning where we'll meet him for the first time. I don't think no one's been in contact with him because he wanted us to focus on the game, and he knew how important the game was. So it's good to get the 3 points in front of him, and I'm sure lots of positive performances out there individually and as a team, and lots to work with. So we know we can do better. We know we can improve, and that's the aim, and that's what we look to do for the rest of the season now. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll come to Ralph Rangnick in a moment, but big news, Michael Carrick telling the players immediately after the game. It's a strange scenario. You just won a big game to find that out, isn't it? But nothing surprised you in football, I suppose?
No, nothing surprised you, does it, I suppose? And look, Michael's he was a magnificent, brilliant player. I love playing with him. He's a really good lad. Everybody will like him, trust me. And like I say, when you told me that, I did actually feel he should have gone with Ollie. I said that last week.
You did.
And I do feel a little bit sad now, actually, that he is leaving the club. But I can understand why, and the players will be sad as well because they'll know what a nice fella he is. Harry spoke so well of him there. Bruno Fernandes spoke well of him. It's a sad night, but sometimes you have to move on. We've all had to leave this brilliant football club at some point, and trust me, it is a sad day, and I'm sure Michael will be emotional tonight. I would have thought, and the players as well will be gutted. But as you say with football, you lose mates at your football club all the time. The day after, it's gone, it's finished, you've got to get on with it. And with a new coach coming in, I think he's got a big job on his hands, but let's hope he can sort this squad of players out.
Yeah, you know what it's like, and so too do you, Pete. I mean, Michael Carrick has been there since 2006 as a player and as a coach, and obviously recently as a man. That's 15 years of his life at Manchester United. He'll wake up in the morning and he won't be there anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like he needs a break. It's a long time to be at one place, and especially
well, a club
in
of that size, as you say, with the expectation as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure. I think he's doing the right thing. He get a taste for management, and he's at the right age. He's got the right experience. Go out there and experience it. And as I said before, you never know. He might have the pedigree to come back and be the manager of this football club. And then it's not a great loss now. Then it's a gain later on in the history of Manchester United. So let's see what happens. We know that Rangnick is an interim manager. He will be there for 6 months. Who else is coming in? We don't know about that. So a lot of things can happen and a lot of things can change. And in this very, very weird sport, I have to say, because we see so many weird decisions being made left, right and centre all the time. So you never know. Michael could be back before we know it.
Indeed. Peter, thank you very much indeed. We're hearing from Michael Carrick very shortly indeed, who has announced he is leaving Manchester United with immediate effect. Let's remind you how he won his final game in charge with one of the most extraordinary goals we've seen in the Premier League to give Arsenal the lead. But by the letter of the law, we've said, it's a goal.
Letter of the law, and for David's reaction, it's Fred who probably summed his night up, actually, that foul on his own goalkeeper. But David should never go down like that. Whether he's injured or not, he should always protect his goal until he knows the whistle's gone, the ball's out of play, whatever it is. He should never go down and face the wrong way. He should always be protecting his goal.
Just see it there. It's just caught him on the back of his heel. I'm sorry. I don't think that's enough for him to go. If he gets elbowed in the face or something like that, you could see, But for him to get stood on his heel like that, then once the decision's given, if he's that bad, he can't sprint like that. There's nothing wrong with him. So, get up, make the save, or do what you do. Try and see it outplayed, then go down afterwards. Crazy.
And then that mistake ultimately punished for 1-1.
Yeah, he did a bad mistake for Ben White, and I think Sancho was probably United's brightest player on the night. He looked lively, that little pass into Fred, and Fernandes with a nice finish.
See, this is the kind of thing Arsenal today, they've done that a couple of times. Tavares done it as well. That just needs somebody to just say, just calm down there. That's what you need. Someone like Partey, an experienced player. Calm down, Ben White. Don't try and just blast it out. You've got enough time. In the end, it's a poor clearance and we get punished. There it is from Tavares. Instead of just slowing down, get that under control, he's trying to actually lay it in and go. Thomas Partey, for me, I think he's got to be closer to Ronaldo once it happens. You look at the space that Ronaldo finds himself in. I think Partey, keep going, get in front of him, stop that. He doesn't do it. Those things get punished at this level, especially with a player of that calibre waiting in there.
There's 3 Arsenal players as well against 1. Now look, even if there's 2 United players, the one person you've got to mark in that position is Cristiano. He scores all the time, and none of them deal with it.
And then Martin Ødegaard was involved at both ends.
Yes, that's a good goal from him. But there, again, you look at Fred. I think once this ball goes past Fred, he has got to be taking Martin Ødegaard because he's the holding midfielder. So once this comes in, you watch Fred, and now it's too late. He doesn't get there in time. It's a really strange game for Fred because he done some unbelievable things and then he done some ridiculous things. But in the end, I think that Arsenal deserved something, but it was inexperience and poor play. And this is just a terrible challenge. He's taken his eye off the ball. He's not looking around him. He's not aware of where Fred is. And in the end, he's making a challenge on the wrong side. Fred does well there because he's clever. He's got his foot into a position where, Ødegaard's foot's come round because he's obviously on the wrong side making the challenge there. Fred puts his leg across. Clever play from him. And it is a penalty. It's a poor challenge.
Fred does really well, doesn't it? It was exactly the same as the first goal, that little link-up play between Sanchez and Fred in that position, and he does really well. And Cristiano, you expect nothing else. And it's not a fancy penalty. It's just head down, get your foot through it, and smash it in.
Beautiful technique.
And just the 801st career, club, and country goal sport, Cristiano Ronaldo, 5 for Sporting, 130 for Manchester United, 450 for Real Madrid, 101 for Juventus, and just 115 at international level for Portugal. 801 goals. He's not that good, though, because he didn't get a 59th hat-trick.